Well, good morning to all of you. My name is Alex Porpora, and I'm the Executive Director of the Utah Society for Environmental Education. And on behalf of our board and our conference committee, I am really delighted to welcome you all to our 30th annual Utah Environmental Education Conference. This year is a milestone conference for many reasons. It's our 30th annual, which is a big deal. We are getting ready to celebrate our 40th birthday next year, and this is also the first virtual conference in UC's history. So while I am saddened to not be able to see your faces in person this year, I'm looking forward to brighter days ahead and figuring out ways that we can continue to work together and collaborate using virtual mediums, and then hopefully getting together again in person. I wanted to quickly mention this year's theme, which is the threads that tie us together. This was generated by our conference committee. And as we kind of started off this year, even in February and March, we were already thinking about this theme in that our community, by its very nature, is collaborative. Environmental education ties us to people, place, and the environment. And certainly this theme seems even more important than ever when we think about the challenges that we've faced over the past few months. So I know that while we aren't in person, we all are feeling some very deep connection or connections with each other that we maybe not have had before. I've been really inspired by the collaboration that I've seen throughout our state with many environmental education organizations. And I think this is a theme that we can truly celebrate, and that we are all tied together and connected through our work and through the important work of connecting people to their environment. And we know that's important now more than ever. Before we go any further, I do want to quickly acknowledge that no matter where you are in Utah, our state's lands and place has been a gathering place for Indigenous peoples. I do have this on the screen, but I am going to read it, which is a land acknowledgement that was adapted from the University of Utah and by one of our colleagues, Kylie Jones Greenwood. I think it's really important to acknowledge place where you are and thinking about who has been there prior to you. So I'll read this aloud. Utah has always been a gathering place for Indigenous peoples, and today we acknowledge that this land is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Shoshone, Paiute, Goshute, and Ute tribes, and is a crossroads for Indigenous peoples. We recognize and celebrate the enduring sense of place and deep relationships between many Indigenous peoples and their traditional homelands. We are grateful for the territory upon which we gather today, and we give respect to Utah's Indigenous peoples, the original stewards of this land. Today, approximately 60,000 American Indian and Alaskan Native peoples live in Utah. We hope to join with our partners in deepening our relationships with all Indigenous people of Utah in and throughout the work of environmental education. So in addition to thanking the land and its Indigenous peoples, we have a number of other organizations and individuals that deserve thanks and gratitude for helping to make this conference possible. This year, we know it's been challenging, and we wanted to ensure that our conference this year was accessible to as many people as possible who wanted to attend, whether that's attending live or accessing recordings, and ensuring that we keep the costs low so that everyone can participate and no one will be turned away. We have so much gratitude for our conference sponsors who have worked to make our conference possible. And without their gratitude and contributions, we would not have been able to pull off this event. So I want to quickly say thank you to Park RX Utah, which is within the Salt Lake County Health Department, the Nature Conservancy in Utah, Wasatch Community Gardens, Salt Lake County Fish and Game Association, the Natural History Museum of Utah, the Utah Office of Outdoor Recreation, Michelle Milliham and Matt Boyer, Salt Lake City Green, and Momentum Recycling. Their contributions have made this conference possible. I also want to specifically thank our board and conference committee, because without their support and hard work, this conference would not have happened. So first, I'd love to shout out to our board. Our board president is Dekeyzer, and you'll all be acquainted with him a little bit later today. Board vice president is David Kimberly. Our board secretary is Michelle Milliham, and our board members at large are Mark Lores Casanova and Brandy Strand. I hope you have the opportunity to meet and connect with them later today. I also want to extend a load of gratitude to this year's conference committee. Our conference committee includes Susan Snyder from Ogden Nature Center, Annie Young and Christy Bills from the Natural History Museum of Utah, and Ann Terry from Tracy Aviary. Their hard work has helped to make this conference possible. So even though you are hearing from me, please know that there are so many people working behind the scenes to make an event like this happen. Also, many thanks to our conference presenters who are dedicating their time and talents to share their incredible work. And I hope you all learned so much from them this week. I know I already have, just by hearing about their presentations and learning about the work that they're doing. So I'm sure you'll come away with a ton of really exceptional information. So before we dive even any further, I am sure you have all been on so many Zoom calls or WebEx calls or whatever video platform you've been on. So feel free to take a screenshot of this video conference call. Bingo, it's from a comic that I really enjoy. Her name's Gemma Carell. So, you know, I think we all have maybe seen some of these situations in Zoom calls or experiences we've been on. So, you know, please share your dogs if you have them, because I certainly feel, yay, a dog, whenever I see one in a meeting. But aside from the funny stuff, in most of your meetings, you'll either see when you join in either speaker view or, as I like to call it, the Muppet Show screen or Hollywood Squares screen. At the bottom of that screen, you'll see a number of icons, which will help you navigate that Zoom interface. All of our conference sessions and meetings will be held via Zoom. We do ask that since we are recording all of these sessions to be posted on YouTube, we ask that everyone please remain muted unless they are speaking. This cuts down on our background noise and makes editing a lot easier. You can turn your video off and on using this camera icon. When we're in meetings together, you know, do what feels comfortable. I know a lot of us are working from home, perhaps in less than ideal situations, may have stuff going on in the background. Feel free to keep your video off or turn it on, you know, if you want to speak and be seen and share. Our conference presenters will be sharing their screen. The other icon that I wanted to know for all of you is this chat button. If you click on chat, that will open up a window where you can ask questions or post comments in that chat. You can send them to the full group, or you can send them to one individual. When we're in our conference sessions, every session will have a moderator from USEE, so either a board or one of our conference committee members, and they're that person that you will want to message if you're having issues with technical support. So things like noise is garbled, maybe you can't see, you're having issues accessing the chat, all of those folks will be able to help you out in those places. Also, if you need additional tech support, I am really just going to be participating in this year's conference, watching sessions. But that means that I am available if you have tech support questions. So please feel free to send me an email or send me a text, and we can help you out with any issues that you may have. Again, if you want to write it down, that phone number for tech support to text me is 801-448-7072. It's the fastest way to get a hold of me. We also want to encourage everyone to connect at the conference. This year, we're using a tool called Padlet. You don't have to create an additional account. You can go ahead and just log in as an anonymous user. And what Padlet does is it allows us to connect and share questions, resources, ideas, and good things. So I'm going to have Michelle share the links to these in the chat. The Padlets that we have available this year are our presenter bios. So we decided to move our presenter bios out of that conference program so that you can see pictures and get acquainted with our presenters this year. So that's one of the Padlets that you can access. The other Padlet includes information about UC staff, board, and conference committee. So if you have any questions about the conference committee, about the board, what the board does, maybe some interest in joining the board, that's a really great place where you can connect with those folks who are working tirelessly behind the scenes and to share a little bit of insight about how you can continue to serve UC. We have a photo contest page. So on this page, we're asking folks to post one nature photo, their best nature photo. You can vote on these photos. The one that has the most likes by the end of the day on Friday will receive a fun prize from us here at UC. So please share your awesome nature photos. One of our Padlets is around COVID silver linings. We know this year has been challenging, but we also know that there are many positive things that have happened. I know for me personally, being able to spend time walking in my neighborhood, getting acquainted with place has been something that's really come out of this year that I really hadn't expected. Maybe you've had some really wonderful things that have happened in your workplace. We want you to share those silver linings, those good things, so that we can share some gratitude, learn about your best practices, and find a little bit of joy even in these times. We also have a space for open space and networking. So if you attend a session, you want to connect with somebody, you have an idea that you would love to share with colleagues, please use this Padlet to share that space for networking and open space. And then finally, share fair. So we ask that everyone please share a little bit more about your organization, because we don't have our share fair tables this year. We are doing that virtually. So all of those links Michelle has pasted in the chat, and they can also be found in your conference program on page 6. So if you need to find those links, you can find them in the conference program and directly here in the chat. So I think I've kind of mentioned this a couple times, but 2020 has been a year. It's been a year that we have all participated in. It certainly may have not been the year we had anticipated when the calendars shifted last January, but here we are, and we are all here together. I am really inspired by all of your hard work, but I also want to acknowledge that this year has been really challenging. There have been ups and downs. Sometimes it may feel like there have been more downs than there are ups. And I really want to share and acknowledge that, because it may have been that way at your organization, and we've also been on the roller coaster of 2020. So while we are getting ready to share some of the accomplishments and things we are proud of, I do really want to take some time to quickly acknowledge that this year has been a strange one, but we are looking forward to brighter days ahead in the coming year. So as we start to share our updates from UC, I am going to turn things over to our board president, Erin Dekeyzer, who is going to share a little bit more about some of our accomplishments this year that we hope will bring you a little bit of inspiration. Erin?
Can you hear me, Alex? I give people grief for not unmuting, and then there's the time that I do it, but thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be with you all. Again, my name is Erin Dekeyzer, and I serve as the UC president. 2020 was a big year of change for our organization. There were many ideas that were a few years in the making that came to fruition as the board worked with Alex and outside organizations. And at the beginning of the year, fortunately, we were able to take some critical steps that will guide our organization over the next 4 years. This year, we improved our branding by refreshing our logo, and we made significant upgrades to our redesigned website. That has been a long time coming for me personally, because I actually performed a lot of work on the website when I served many years ago as a UC intern. But since then, website technology has come a long way, obviously, and we now have a really nice website that is worth perusing if you haven't already. We also worked with a consultant who hosted a board retreat for us, where we were able to rewrite our mission and vision. We expanded the scope of our mission beyond its previous focus on environmental educators to include elements of community and the natural world. Because we are aware that when we create opportunities for connection with nature, we can create a culture that will take action towards sustainability goals. For me, it was essential that our vision was something that we could actually see or envision. Previously, the vision was to create an environmentally literate citizenry, which we kept because that's essential, but we added the actions that will be taken for sustainable future for Utah, but also for our organization, which is not only more concrete and visible concept, but encourage us to take the long view, which is essential for such a monumental task. And these changes were part of a new strategic plan that will be implemented over the next 4 years. You can find this document on our website. Michelle or Alex, if you have that, you could put that in the chat. But much of this work was a reflection and contemplation about our values. Sustainability, community, equity and inclusion, action and advocacy were all featured prominently. For those of you familiar with USEE's past, this is a major shift toward creating a world that we want to see. Previously, we might have been hesitant to advocate for policy, for example, but we understand that we are living in an essential time to bolster environmental education, and we want to situate ourselves and our resources so that we can take actions to lead our community toward our vision. Just to be clear, our organizational advocacy will be specific to EE policy, just to ensure that we're consistent with local, state, and national levels. And we believe that by focusing on equitable opportunities, that we will be able to strengthen the field of environmental education. I feel that our strategic plan really shows that we've spread our wings and have laid a solid foundation to promote organizational growth and capacity. So I genuinely want to thank Alex for the amazing work she has done to synthesize everything that we had worked on to create this amazing strategic plan. As president, much of my responsibility relates to our continued viability and relevance. And this year, I'm proud to report that we developed a strategy that will secure that over the next 4 years, which, as Alex mentioned, is especially exciting considering that next year UC will turn 40 years old.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I do want to quickly mention our strategic plan can be found on the About Us section of our website, and that our strategic plan did not just come out of nowhere. This was a process that began in 2018, and I know that there are many of you who are participating today who provided feedback that made this strategic plan possible. I am really proud of the fact that our strategic plan was a community-led effort. Your input has made an impact in what we are delivering in the future. We held listening sessions in 2018 and again in this year in 2020 to provide feedback before this draft was made public. So we really encourage you to take a peek. Know that you were a part of this if you participated. And if you have any questions about the work that we're doing, my inbox is always open and I am always ready to take your call. We are really looking forward to moving along with these goals and to really delivering on our mission of connecting all Utahns to their natural world.
Yeah, so if you are passionate about environmental education or, through the conference feel inspired to get involved with UC as we embark on this path over the next 4 years, I would implore you to consider joining our board or a committee. We currently have a small yet dedicated and mighty board, but as part of our growth and influence goals, we're going to need to expand our board and increase our committee work. We offer an onboarding process and one-on-one training and support to ensure that you're a successful board member. There will also be ample upcoming opportunities for leadership positions and other related growth. I can attest that it's been an incredible opportunity to serve on the board, and it's a great way to serve your community and develop a variety of skills and knowledge to aid in your personal growth. So if you or someone you know might be interested, you can contact me directly to apply. My email was president@usee.org. And then just real quick, here's a slide about the board and committees. The board is mainly responsible for the continued viability of our organization, which has a lot to do with financial oversight. So we deal in fundraising initiatives, grant writing, individual donations, creating and fostering partnerships, and even personal contributions. And board members would also serve on committees and also assist staff when needed. But committee work is also great. We have a variety of committees that work to achieve our goals and our organizational programming. This next year, we will be adding a number of committees, which I'm really excited about. So I would recommend reaching out to Alex to inquire about those and get more involved.
Thanks so much, Aaron. I do want to also mention that our board meetings, even prior to COVID, were held in a hybrid way. So those of us who were able to meet in person connected, but we also had the opportunity to connect via Zoom. So location is not a factor in joining the board. We would love to have more representation from across the state, as well as along the Wasatch Front. But please know that if you are interested in joining either of these, our board or committee, you're always welcome, regardless of location, as we typically meet in a virtual setting. I do want to also, continue to say you are environmental education in Utah. Your input at last year's conference helped us develop a new membership program. In March, with the shutdown related to COVID, we made the decision to put a hold on all membership renewals for this year, given that there was a lot of uncertainty, both around programs and a lot of financial uncertainty for our partners. However, we are really excited to launch our new membership program, which you can find on our website. And from some really great feedback from our strategic plan review sessions, we've also created a quick 2-pager on our membership program, which I will post on the website later today. You'll be able to find that on the membership page. We'll be launching a membership drive in January, and we would really love to have you become a member of USEE. There's a number of benefits to being a member. These include discounted registrations to our conference, discounted registrations to professional development, and for some of the other tiers, access to things like journal articles or additional networking opportunities and webinars. We would really love you to join and to participate. The way that we have created our membership program for the coming year, you can either join as an individual or join as an organization. Individual members will be able to pay monthly, and that monthly rate starts at $5 a month. So kind of like your NPR pledge drive, you can become a member starting at $5 a month, all the way up to $20 a month. Our organizational memberships start at $250, and those include things like dedicated conference registrations and discounts for full staff. So please visit that website and take a look. And in January, you'll hear more from us about becoming a member of USEE. So of course, what you are all here for, and I'm actually kind of excited. We may be wrapping up this session a little bit early, which is totally fine. We'll keep this room open until about 10:45 if people want to stay and connect. But I do want to provide some information on how you can access the conference sessions. All of you who have registered for today's conference have received a program that is for registrants only. Within that program, you will find the Zoom links to all of the concurrent sessions, as well as our speaker sessions. All you will need to do is click on the link to join the session that you are interested in participating in. If you have any issues joining the session, please feel free to contact me and we can make sure you get where you need to go. We're really, really thankful to be part of a national network. As many of you know, the Utah Society for Environmental Education is the state affiliate of the North American Association for Environmental Education. We are able to pull off this conference due to our colleagues sharing their Zoom accounts. So you'll be in some different places. Consider that you're traveling to Colorado to participate in some of our conference sessions. So you'll find that link to be able to join and access them. We will also have a room open during lunch. I know that participating in Zoom calls, especially all day, can be really taxing. So we do want to give everyone the opportunity to fully log off for lunch if you need to. However, we will have a room open if you want to connect and network with peers from that 12 to 1 o'clock hour. I also want to let you know that from 3 to 4 today and tomorrow, we'll have some Zoom rooms open for some fun games, happy hour if you would like. So please feel free to join. Also, all of our sessions that feature content, so our opening sessions, our keynote and plenary speakers, as well as our conference sessions will be recorded. After the conference, you'll receive a link to an unlisted YouTube channel where you can view all of the sessions. There are also a handful of pre-recorded sessions that are also available to access. And those links are already available in your conference program. We do ask that for now, you only share those links kind of with your colleagues, with other folks who have registered, so that we can kind of keep those conference sessions kind of within folks who have registered for the conference. So that really covers that. Oh, and all of the recordings will be available for 1 year. And with that, I want to say, does anybody have any questions, any questions about the platforms that we are using, or just anything that they want to share before we head into concurrent session 1? All right. Well, it is an absolute delight to see all of your names and your faces this morning. So we're wrapping up a little bit early, which is a-okay. Feel free to go ahead and leave and prepare for concurrent session 1. If you want to stay and chat, we'll leave this room open until about 10:45. So enjoy concurrent session 1. We'll see you back here hopefully for lunch. And then certainly at 1 o'clock for our keynote speaker, Parker McMullen Bushman. Thank you so much for participating today, and I cannot wait to hear from you.